It was a crisp Easter morning in April 2021, and families were gathering, planning celebrations. For two young lives, this was supposed to be a beautiful day, but instead, it became the end, and for others, an unrelenting nightmare that would haunt them forever. That morning, the peace was shattered by a desperate 911 call. There's been a severe accident. Two vehicles. It looks bad. One car's on fire. The dispatcher's voice was calm but hurried, asking if there were any injuries. The caller's voice was thick with horror. Yes, it looks really bad. By the time first responders arrived, the scene was chaos. Smoke and flames curled up from a white vehicle. Rushing in, officers found bystanders already pulling a severely injured woman from the car. She had broken bones, deep lacerations, her body battered from the impact, but she was alive, thanks to the courage of those around her. The officers' attention shifted to the second car, a red vehicle now mangled beyond recognition. The impact had split it in half. As they moved closer, their expressions grew grim. They quickly realized there would be no lives to save here. Inside were Dalton Lee Ford and Taylor Nicole Garza, a young couple with their futures ahead of them. Their lives ended in that instant. A few moments later, a young woman named Camille Bond rushed onto the scene. She was frantic, but there was something more, a tension, a strange detachment. Witnesses would later recall her shock and desperation mixed with an unsettling anger. She blamed Taylor, cursing at the young woman in the red car, assuming she had caused the accident. As officers managed the scene, Camille's frustration boiled over, cursing at crash victims in a display that shocked onlookers. As the officers began piecing together the wreckage, a troubling story emerged. Witnesses were questioned, and one piece of information kept surfacing. The vehicles had been speeding. Camille and her brother Leon had reportedly been seen racing just moments before the crash. Camille's insistence that she wasn't involved began to unravel with every testimony. Digging deeper, investigators uncovered a disturbing history. Camille, just 19, already had multiple speeding tickets, each instance marked by arguments, defiance, even accusations of racial prejudice against officers. Her brother Leon also had run-ins with the law. Now this was no longer about tickets or warnings. Two people were dead. In the courtroom, the tragedy of it all was impossible to ignore. Crash reconstruction reports showed Camille and Leon had been going 114 miles per hour on a road where the speed limit was just 50. Footage captured from surveillance cameras showed Dalton and Taylor's car slowly turning, unaware of the oncoming race behind them. At normal speeds, it would have been a safe turn. But at 114 miles per hour, the collision became inevitable. As families took the stand, their words revealed the depth of their grief. Dalton and Taylor were both just 22, loved and respected by those who knew them. Taylor's father described the moment he learned of his daughter's death, sharing how he would never forget the scream his wife let out when police arrived at their door. To these families, the loss was a wound that would never fully heal. Even Camille's own friend Lynn eventually took the stand against her. With a voice thick with emotion, Lynn recalled the conversation between Camille and Leon just before the race. A dare over who could go faster. She shared that after the crash, Camille was concerned only with her car and her siblings, never once sparing a thought for the victims. At a birthday party shortly after the crash, Camille reportedly blamed Dalton and Taylor for causing the accident, a remark that left witnesses stunned. And then there were Camille's words on the scene, overheard by others, "She better be dead, or I'll find her and kill her." In the courtroom, these words echoed like a knife, cutting through any last hope for sympathy. When the sentencing finally arrived, the judge looked directly at Camille, his voice steady but stern. "I think you're in deep denial about what role you played in this event," he told her, before sentencing her to 15 years in prison. With time served, she'd be eligible for probation in 10 years. But for the families of Dalton and Taylor, justice felt distant. They knew that Leon, the driver who actually struck the red car, had been tried as a juvenile. His sentence, minimal probation. To them, it felt like an impossible betrayal. How could the system allow him to walk free while their loved ones could never come home? Dalton and Taylor's parents knew their heartbreak and anger couldn't bring their children back. But they channeled that pain into a cause, pushing for stricter street racing laws and raising awareness, hoping to save another family from living through this nightmare. The dust has now settled, but the scars remain. On that Easter morning in 2021, 2 young lives were stolen and 2 families were forever broken. Camille and Leon's choices took away something precious. two bright souls with so much left to give. For the families left behind, there are no words, only an enduring wish that no other family will ever have to endure such a twisted tale of recklessness and devastating loss. Thank you for watching this episode of Twisted Tales. If this story left an impact, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it to spread awareness. What do you think of this case? Was justice served? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And remember, reckless decisions can change lives in an instant. Stay tuned for more stories that uncover the twists and turns of real-life events. Until next time,